being alone sucks. Being alone is not about self improvement. I've seen a lot of videos of people taking the stance on how being alone is like a key way to becoming a very productive individual. That's the goal for most of these people that preach that idea. They see the fact that a lot of people being around you could influence you to do things that you don't want to do. They see that as a bad thing. They see being alone and being stoic as something that we should all I guess thrive for. God, if I can talk. But I have a different opinion to that. I think that being alone is not a natural state for human beings. I think being alone, again, is something that we all have to be comfortable with, but it's not something that we should strive for. I can't say that word because here is why being alone sort of go against everything that you want out of your life, especially as a person who is trying to self-improve, right? A person who's looking for discipline, a person who's looking to become better. The reason why striving to be alone or taking being alone as a step towards that goal, the reason why that is detrimental is because we as people, as human beings, we grow up. I want to say grow up. We evolve to need a community. And in today's society, I guess that's such a cliche, but in today's society, we sort of moved away from community. And these internet spaces, especially with self improvement and the manosphere, push the idea of stoicism and the idea of being so alone that becomes your identity, and that is somehow a sign of masculinity. And within just the whole general space, being alone and being comfortable with that is seen as independent and strong. And this narrative is literally killing people. This narrative is leading people to mental health issues, is leading people towards literally living shorter lives. Because if you can't find a community, as human beings, we need a community. And if you can't find a community and you sit in a position where you think not finding a community is the ultimate goal, and the goal is to just be by yourself, you will ultimately become lost. And that is one thing I've noticed, because when I bring this on myself, right, I was a person who grew up with these sort of ideas being, forced down my throat. No homo, right? I watched these manosphere guys. I just watched the whole self-improvement space. And from all of that, I actually practiced what they taught me, being alone, staying away from people, all of these things. But then I came to realize that once I open up to people, once I was able to say, okay, being alone is something that you should be comfortable with. You shouldn't be afraid of it, but it's not something that should be your lifestyle. You're alone because of circumstance. You're not alone because that is your personality. I think that's what I'm trying to get towards. Because when you just stay with this idea of I'm alone, so I'm better, I'm okay with being alone, so I'm better, you sort of go against everything it really means to be a human being. And I don't know if people who actually say that are coming from a place of truth or a place of validation seeking. Because if you say, especially in today's world, right, if you say that you're so comfortable being alone, you looked at as an independent, strong person, like I said earlier. But if you're someone who's open and say, I need people, I want people, I want a community, right? I function better when I have others around me, when I see others flourishing, when I see others helping each other. I flourish, I do better, I'm more happy, I'm less depressed. When you say that you actually need company, it sort of has this negative light upon it, because the internet has encouraged so much, or many trauma sharing, and people are so afraid to repeat others' mistakes, and now they're moving away from mistakes. I know this is a whole complete tangent, but they're moving away from mistakes, and the best way to move away from mistakes and getting hurt is to stay away from people and be alone. And there's sort of a cop out, right? Has kind of turned into a movement of positivity, which is, it's just weird and bizarre, and I fell victim to it. And I think a lot of maybe young people, younger guys, could fall victim to that as well. And I just want this to be another voice that you hear speaking out sort of against that. It's something that, you shouldn't be afraid to be alone, but that you should understand that shouldn't feel good, right? Like, if you're lonely and you feel lonely, right? That's good. Okay? You are lonely. That is a feeling to take into account and say, yes, I do want a community. That is not a feeling to press down and say, oh, I'm being more masculine, or I'm being more strong and independent. Like, I know for you girls watching, just because I'm choosing to be lonely, I'm choosing to go literally against what I have been evolving to become. Literally, the key, the core towards to what a human being is community and language and sharing and culture. That is what makes us unique and different. Laughter, like, just it's so good and fun to just have a community. Like, you live better, you live longer, life is better, the sky is bluer, the sun is brighter, the grass is greener, food tastes better, your laughter sounds cooler, bro. Just like, this idea of being stoic and this shit is so dumb. Don't do that. Don't fall for this. The internet is there to sell you things. I'm not a salesman. I'm a human being. And I say this like a human being because I've lived it. Alright, so now we're not gonna make the video too long. Just take what I said, don't apply it to your life, but just hear me. Thank you. Bye bye. Peace.